Hello there. Good morning and welcome to Stout Sunday, December 1st, 2019, the first Sunday of Advent. And John Neely can't host it today, so we're going to do Stout Sunday. He wanted to know if I would replace him. I wasn't sure, but last night I was telling some of the people, I said, I think I can do it. So when all the people join, we'll do the Stout Sunday event. But I'll start it off. I have Guinness Foreign Extra Stout. You say, oh, well, you did that before. Yes, this ale stout, this extra stout porter, well, has been around for like about 200 years. This or a similar recipe since around the time of Louis the 18th. But I did an infusion with Clan McGregor Scotch, blended Scotch whiskey, aged 3 years. You know, I did the infusion with the, what they call that, the Old Crow, 3-year aged straight bourbon, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. That was really profound, but because that was profound. It added a lot of heavy charred wood. It made a big difference. And then I haven't posted this one yet. I did a infusion with Gibson's Finest Rare, 12-year age. Didn't seem to make much difference. And then I did the Clan McGregor and didn't seem to make much difference. You say, well, you didn't add enough. I'm not going to sit here and just dump a bunch of whiskey in a beer that's strong already. It was just an experience, sort of like an experiment to see if it would make a difference. It did in one case, and it did not really in the other two cases, except for the alcohol content will go up. So try to avoid that. So all the people on Stout Sunday, here they come soon enough. I'll have to give them a critter call.
Cover your ear, because I'm going to give a critter call, all right? Meow, come quick. Meow, come quick. Meow, come quick.
All right, so let's see about this. I may have to do another critter call for Stout Sunday, where all the people get together and talk about the stouts. A creation of John Neely of Georgia Beer Review. So there's not much head on this. You can see a little trace of it. Hello, Max. Walt, good morning to you in the Russian Federation. So it's dark brown, almost black, as you can see. Yeah, it's dark cherries in the nose. Now there might be a trace of Scotch whiskey in the nose, but I'm saying like a trace. It didn't really seem to add much. Now, Clan McGregor on its own has very mild, mellow, but it has noticeable flavors, noticeable character. But in the mix, didn't seem to. I can't read all the comments. I mean, I could, but it slows things down. I'll just post them. You can look at them if you're watching and not just listening. I think a lot of people just listen. December 2nd? No, yesterday was November 30th. Flying solo? No. A bunch of people were talking about joining Stout Sunday, so I'm waiting for them to jump on for Stout Sunday, the big event on Sunday. That's a good reason not to join. We're going to have to change it to something Sunday. All right, so well, it's kind of roasted. I think I'll talk about Hong Kong in a minute. It's kind of roasted. Had a Summit oatmeal stout yesterday. Excellent. Oh, yeah, I was supposed to post them, not read them. It still tastes like roasted barley, kind of semi-sweet sour, mostly sweet, creamy. Black cherries, high, medium body, and a sort of sweet finish. Get a little coffee note, a little chocolate note. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's bad when you can't sleep. Well, around here we have church. I went to 7:30 a.m. Mass, first day of Advent, first Sunday of Advent. Okay, that was very nice. The people lit the candles. The first candle, I mean, the candle. Go get it and join. Yes, there's one. We were talking about that on the Hangouts. I said I would do it. So Jeremy's got to join us for Stout Sunday. I mean, it's some Cocoa Krispies infused Cheerios and milk. Oh, yes, I've had that. Yes. It's hard to find these days. Distribution is funny on that. And that's what happened. And there is Robert.
Sorry, I'm late.
The Whiskey Scout. That's okay. I'm going to give another critter call. So hold on just a moment.
Okay.
And we'll give a critter call.
Because I'm going to give a critter call, all right? Meow, come quick. Meow, come quick. Meow, come quick.
All right. So that's my stout on Stout Sunday. Now, what do you have, Mr. Robert, the Whiskey Scout?
It's called the Brewery, B-R-U-E-R-Y.
Yeah. I had beers from them. They sent me 3 beers once.
And it's banana. It's a blended imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels with walnut, banana, and natural flavor added. It's called Banana Bread on Top. You have to excuse me for the cough. I've developed a little cough here.
Oh, man, I'm sorry about that.
I think it's all the driving. It's just all the driving.
The driving.
And brewed and canned by the brewery Placentia, California. It's 10.2% alcohol by volume. I bought this and I bought another one, the coconut one, coconut macaroon. I bought 2 of those actually. Let's try. And but this one I'll go ahead and get it open and get it poured for everybody to see.
Now, this may not help your cold, but it won't hurt.
That's not really a cold. I got over my cold.
Yeah.
But, I just kind of, I think it's because I was down near you in Louisiana when I was up in Grand Cane, which is outside of Mansfield. It was so warm, and then we get back up here and it's kind of cold. And
oh, yeah, too much change.
And we have a lot of wind. And so sometimes all that wind carries a lot of dust and stuff in it. So my body's adjusting back to the cold and the wind.
Yeah.
So
that sounds like weather I would actually hate. Okay.
Yep. Well, I tell you what, being down there, I lived there for a year and a half, or a little more than that actually, one time, and you kind of miss that. The only time I didn't like living in Louisiana was when the pine trees would give all the yellow pollen off, and it would just be everywhere. That would activate my allergy somewhat, but other than that,
yeah, we don't have many pine trees in this area, mostly hardwoods. But the problem is the oak trees put out their own pollen, and that gets you so sick. Ooh, hadn't bothered me too much lately though. Okay, well, I don't want to keep interrupting your exposition.
That's all right. So how far are you into yours? If you already done your
okay, well, I did the Foreign Extra Stout, and what I did this time was an infusion. I did a Scotch whiskey infusion.
Okay.
Clan McGregor, and like I was saying earlier, it didn't seem to make much impact. Now, it might have it obviously did in the ABV. That would be automatic. That wouldn't, the flavor in the nose wouldn't matter. The ABV is going to be there. But as far as the nose and the flavor, I didn't see any difference. And the same thing happened with the Gibson's 12-year age Canadian. The only infusion that made a big difference, and this may seem not credible, but it is, was the when I added in the first infusion the Old Crow. The Old Crow gave it a pretty strong charred oak and little corn application. So I thought it changed it a lot. I'm not saying it improved it. I'm not really a big bourbon barrel age guy for beers, but it did change it. The other two was sort of a neutral thing. So anyway, and so this beer already gave a high A2 without the addition.
Okay.
If it didn't change it, then common sense would tell us that it's still going to be a high A.
Yeah.
So I'm staying.
I could see the Old Crow changing it probably more than the Scotch because you're getting a lot stronger flavors coming off that bourbon than you are a blended Scotch.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and jump into smell.
And what's the ABV on that?
10.2%.
Golly.
Well, it's got plenty of ABV there. Yeah, and I'm getting, of course, you get the blended, the dark roasted malts up front. I'm getting a very sweet component coming across on my nose. I'm not going to be able to put my finger on it, but there's a sweet component there.
Maybe it's just like table sugar.
Yeah, it's hard, you know, when you go from like marshmallow to table sugar, any of those, defining the exact, because there's not a lot of flavor in between them. Sometimes marshmallow I'm able to pick out because it's almost got that, I don't know how to say it. It's almost slightly like when you roast them, almost, you know, slightly roasted appeal. That's what kind of, that's how I define.
Now, I thought the brewery mainly specialized in sours. That's not a sour.
No, this is a stout. It is a blended imperial stout. And I'm getting the nuttiness of the walnuts that they said was in there. And there is a bready, yeasty note to it on the nose. There's chocolate there too. Yeah, I get chocolate, bready, yeasty note on the nose, and the walnut nuttiness, of course, the dark roasted malts. Those do kind of come across very well.
I like that sound. Walnut. Oh, yeah.
And like I said, and there's that even a sweet component you can detect on the nose. Ooh. Lacing stays clingy to the glass. It only had about a 1/4 inch head built on top of a chocolate colored 1/4 inch head. Up front, it hits you with all the typical imperial stout. Then a sweetness takes over. It's not a very cloying. It's not like an overwhelming sweetness that just makes you. But it's a nice sweetness develops, and you get all of that. This one, I mean, it's drinking like they have it wrote down. Walnut. I don't know about the banana so much, but the walnut and that breadiness. It dense like friendship bread or walnut bread or pumpkin bread. That dense yeasty breadiness is there very well. And it finishes very well in the background. It follows through. It just starts on the palate about midway after the initial sip. After the roasted malts all start to fade, then all that takes over, and it just follows all the way to the end. Don't get any. The 10.2% is there, but it's not. It's not knocking you on your feet. I mean, I don't. That's a bad way to put it. It's there, but it's not.
It's not influencing your demeanor.
Right. It's not boozy. It's not that real booziness that you're there. It's just there. It's, you know, it's there, but it's good. And the walnutness is very good. The walnuts make this. I like this. I should have bought 2 cans when I was up in Kansas City is where I bought that. Not dry. Works real good in the palate. Creamy. Not overly creamy though. It's not super creamy like the CBS or the CBS really. It's not creamy quite like that, but it still has a creaminess to it. It's a very well done beer. I like it.
Hey, Robert, Whiskey Scout, I'm starting to pick up a little peat at the bottom of the glass. I am, but it's so, it's so faint.
Yeah, still, that's a neat thing to pick up on. I think I like it.
Yeah, it's marginal. I mean, it is Clan McGregor. I didn't add Johnny Walker Blue Label. I was kind of irritated about Johnny Walker Blue Label because something happened to me last week that I took a little bit of offense to. But I said, you know what? That's your problem, really. It's not mine.
So what happened?
I know you're wondering, like, what's the backstory? So I went to a store and I talked to the store manager, and they got the Johnny Walker Blue Label on the shelf, $264.99. All right. Other stores have it $299.99. Well, I wouldn't even ever entertain that.
No.
So I told the store manager, I said, what kind of deal you want to make? Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to go look it up, and we'll just go it even. And because it's been sitting up on the shelf, that thing doesn't move like Bud Light, right?
No, they don't move at those prices.
So he's thinking about, I might let it go at cost just to be done with it and see what happens. I could put something else on the shelf that might sell. So I said, okay. He said, but I'm going to do it later. I'm going to get to it later. Check with me later on in the week. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, I can understand they're busy, Thanksgiving. So then I saw him later in the week, and I said, how about that Johnny Walker Blue? Yeah, I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna check with you Monday. And I'm thinking, well, sometimes you miss the boat, right? Seems to me you better strike while the iron's hot, because if a person thinks about it long enough, what's the choice they're probably going to make? I'll just pass. That's too much money, right?
Yep.
You pull the trigger when the person got the mind on buying it.
Yes.
You don't wait around for them to back out the deal. But like I said, it's not my problem, right? Got a lot of people sell Johnny Walker Blue Label.
A lot cheaper than that too.
Oh yeah, a lot cheaper.
Here, I can get it for $175
for $750.
For $750.
Oh well, hell.
And it goes anywhere between $175 all the way to about $260, like you're talking about. $260 is where the high-end stores keep it that move a lot of other alcohols. If you go to the little out-of-the-way stores where it's lingered on the shelf for 4 or 5 years, you can still get it for $175 to $179.
You see, I guess the problem around here in Louisiana is people buy it. They don't buy it a lot. They might sell a bottle a year. So,
well, now I'm talking stores that are little stores out in western Kansas where people are not generally spending that much money. Stores around Wichita, for the most part, they're in that $250 range.
Okay, yeah, because like in New Orleans, I've been around New Orleans. Ain't nobody got it cheaper than $260.
I'm gonna save you guys the blowing of the nose. Hold on.
Okay, we sympathize. Well, folks, get ready, because now that we've done the whiskey, I'm going to do another critter call just for the louts. I mean, the layabouts. I don't mean lout. Well, maybe you're a lout if you didn't want to join, but I'm going to say a layabout.
Where's Pee-wee? Pee-wee left. He's very upset. Could you round everybody up for me? Why, sure, Miss White. Now, you cover your ear, because I'm going to give a critter call, all right? Meow, come quick. Meow, come quick. Meow, come quick. Come quick. Thank you.
All right. I'm not a big spender because I ain't spent the money, Ronnie. Now, I heard of M43. I know that's a Michigan Highways numbering system. Michigan highways have M numbers, like M10, which used to be US 10. Yeah, I know about these things. I never had the beer, though. Gary, that's wrong. That is wrong. Look what this man said on the internet.
I want to bless me. I like Highland. Whatever your float is, buddy. If you like it, go with it. Don't worry about it.
Well,
that's
I'm going to score mine a 98. I mean, Guinness Foreign Extra Stout is dynamite, and we talking about $8.99 a 4-pack, baby.
Well, I need to make sure I stay on top of this before I forget to write it down. But this one here, I think I'm going to give it a 97. I really, really like it. I think it's as good as the KBS, but in a sort of different way. I think it's more that flavored route, I think, than the KBS has, but it's done right. It's not it's done very well. I have to give this a 97. I need to write that down now.
So we do a 98 and 97, or 97, 98. Well, that's pretty high.
Yes, this is a good. I'm really impressed. I have a lot of hope for that macaroon, because that's the coconut macaroon is the one that John Anile said he liked. He said it was probably the best beer he ever had, I think. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I bought two. I didn't know John thought so highly of it. When I was in the liquor store, I like coconut. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah. I'm looking at these two beers side by side, and they've got probably 10 of the coconut macaroons and probably 12 or 13 of these. And I thought, I want to buy 2 of the coconut macaroons because I like the coconut. I'm going to buy 1 of the banana breads because, oh, hell, I like banana bread too. Like I said, I don't really overly get the banana in it, but everything else is clicking. I mean, it could be my nose and everything else coming into play on that too. I'm really impressed with it. I really like this. This is good stuff. It's well done. It's well made.
And had you ever tried it before?
No, I've never even seen it before until I went to Kansas City. I went to Lucas Liquor in Kansas City. It's like a playground of liquor stores. It's huge. And
I like liquor store playgrounds.
You'd like Lucas Liquor.
I get on the swing, I get on the swing and I try to see how high I can get.
It's just like that. You need a swing to see the whole dang thing. It's like an old department store, except now it's just all wine, beer, and liquor.
That's kind of special. Hey, it's kind of like Savannah Discount and Discount Depot around here. You go in and you try not to like start crying, for joy. But yeah. That place you're talking about in Kansas City, I think I'd like it.
You would. A lot of options, a lot of choices. That Boulevard Whiskey Barrel Stout that John and Michael talk about so much they like. That's $14.99 a 4-pack there all day long. I can get it here in Wichita though too. They all gave it higher scores. I gave it an 89. They all gave it much higher than upper 90s. So I think maybe I need to try it again, maybe just to see,
Hey, I bet you. Well, I never tried that one. I bet you there's probably 1,000 places in America just like that Adventure Wonderland liquor store, right?
Yeah. You can go to Total Wine up several of those. One in Dallas, one in Denver I've been to, and one in Florida, Orlando, Florida. I've been to 3 of them so far. They are big too. They're huge, fun places. And
it's funny because we'll make fun of women that want to go shopping.
Well, in my world, it's that, and because I like the outdoors, I do like to go to Cabela's or Blue Mountain or Bass Pro. I go shopping and need it, or even just a small bait shop. Sometimes it's just a wonderland for me too.
Yeah, y'all. So we maybe we're too quick to judge, but shoes ain't whiskey. Hey,
no, that's
our mindset.
Yeah, men have their own. We all have our little idiosyncrasies too, just like women. We do.
Their mindset might be screwed out. I found some suede boots.
Yeah, and it'd have no interest to me.
But it's each their own. It's not too.
Yeah.
People are so uptight, like my daughter did some videos with me, 4 videos with me this weekend. Last week on Thanksgiving Day. And I was reading some of the comments and they were so funny because they were like, if your daughter's like that normally, I'd hate to see her drunk. And I was like, wow, it's funny that it goes over their head. It's like, you don't realize when people have like jocular humor.
Yeah. I enjoyed 2 of them. I watched 2 of them. I give you a thumbs up on them. I don't really know what to comment on because I've seen your daughter before do them with you, and I enjoy her presence. And her friend was there, and I enjoy that because that's just more input, more ideas from a different angle on the same product.
Right.
And that's an enjoyable, understandable experience.
Right. And it's like, I was thinking to myself, man, it is so comical. It's like, you don't realize that you're taking the bait that was set. Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait. I mean, I have a nasty history of doing that. But then people, I don't know. But they were a lot of fun. We did 4 videos and it was so much fun. And then by the 4th video, when we did the Blanton's Bourbon, I thought, well, it's time to shut it down. Things are getting a little too exuberant. And they have to go later that day driving into the city. So I thought.
Have you published the Blanton Bourbons? I haven't seen that one yet. The Blanton's Bourbon?
Yeah, I posted it yesterday.
Well, I was driving all day yesterday.
And they had no experience with Blanton's. I mean, they had never heard of it.
But it'd still be fun. It's still fun to watch those reactions. It's still fun to see where they're going to run with what they're getting. That's fun.
Yeah, and the most comical part of the whole thing, funny how they were getting on you about your bright shirt, right? I did that on purpose. See, it's like me. It's like people will tell me, why you wear that shirt? It's like, it's like the whole thing went whoop over their head, Like, whoop.
Sure has nothing to do with what I'm doing.
I mean, it sort of amuses me that people react to things that are obviously planted in a video. You know what I'm saying?
Right. There's things that you do just to see what kind of reaction you get to what you do. And you don't, in my case, I didn't understand all the little things that people would comment about that really, like one, the guy gave me a thumbs down on the Jim Beam video I was doing, where I had Stiller's Cut and a couple other ones lined up on the table. I had a pork butt going in the background because I was getting ready to make tamales, and I was boiling the pork butt and monitoring it. So I did it in the kitchen in our old place we lived in. And the guy gives me a thumbs down. He said, well, that you opened with about a minute and a half talk about tamales on a pork butt, and I didn't like that. I love the video otherwise, but I got to give you a thumbs down because of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that people focus on things that are ancillary to the main idea.
Yeah, it's just showing I have a real life outside of alcohol, and you're giving me a thumbs down because I have a real life outside of alcohol. It was funny as hell.
Yeah, it's a weird world out there. Yeah, I said the liquor had been on the market since 1984, and my daughter said so was the shirt.
I got to watch it now. You got me. I'm intrigued.
That's not true, but the shirt is silk, and I only paid $1 for it. When you get the shirt, you'll realize that there's a reason for that. But I like outlandish things. Well, look, I have an idea, and I don't know how you feel about it. We were talking off and on over the last few weeks about Bellows straight bourbon whiskey. I don't know if you'd be up to doing a review now. But if you're busy, that's fine.
I'm not busy, but my palate's going to be a little clouded because this is a pretty sweet, pretty rich beer I'm drinking here. But I can do it, but I don't mind.
We are talking about Bellows after all.
Yeah, it's $8.99. I opened it on 10/15 of 18.
Yeah,
that's how much I've taken off since then.
Yeah, well, it's up to you. It's your call.
It's your call. This is your live stream. You want to do it? I will get a glass.
I mean, if I lay it out there, it's obviously I'm throwing it up to you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to end this broadcast and I'm going to reset it on a different video so that it'll be dedicated to that. Because, there are some viewers that have no interest whatsoever in beer.
All right.
And contra-wise, there's viewers that have no interest in liquor and they only want to watch beer, right? So,
right. Let me go get it. Well, when you end this, I'm going to go get a drink of water before we start that so I can kind of wash the palate out a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We won't go long on that one. All right. Well, I'll be back shortly, folks.
Right.
Thank you for watching this video production with Stout Sunday. All the people on Stout Sunday, 2 people.